Wow, nice haul.
Told ya, Macy's Backstage has perfect last-minute gifts.
With prices so low, you never need a coupon.
I scored the perfect makeup palette.
Super cute. I grabbed these cool drones for the guys.
Nice. Here's a handbag for Aunt Helen.
Found awesome toys for the kids.
Cookware for the budding chef.
Oh, and look what I got for Uncle Hank.
A puppy chew toy?
No, that's for Rex. They even have gifts for pets.
Well, you know Uncle Hank. He'd love anything we gave him.
Macy's Backstage. Savings for everyday life. Details at macy'sbackstage.com.
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Nonprofit U, a forum where nonprofit stakeholders can share lessons learned and discuss the latest developments in the industry. My name is Valerie, Leonard, your host. I'm a consultant to nonprofits, and I specialize in community and organizational development. I work with nonprofit organizations to help them make a stronger impact to their clients and communities. You can find Nonprofit U on Facebook and Twitter. I encourage you to follow us and to comment early and often using the hashtags NonprofitU, UIC Extended Campus, or CNM Nonprofit Management. You can also leave comments on blogtalkradio.com/nonprofit_U. The chat room is open, and you can post comments and questions. In order to use the chat room, you must open a listener-only account. You'll find a link to open the account on the page for this episode, and you can also email me questions at consulting@valeriefleonard.com. We'll be taking questions by phone and from my chat room at about the 20-minute mark or so. The call-in number is 347-884-8121. Again, that number is 347-884-8121. Today's topic is UIC at Work. We'll talk about the UIC Extended Campus Workforce Development Programs and the Certificate in Nonprofit Management Program. Again, we encourage you to call in with questions at about the 20-minute mark. You can start posting in the chat room and emailing questions now. Again, my email address is consulting@valeriefleonard.com. If you want to participate in the live chat, you must open a listener-only account, and the link is found in the episode page. The call-in number is 347-884-8121. Nonprofit and community development professionals are especially encouraged to call in and share your stories and your strategies. Today's guest is Princess Currence. She's the director of UIC's At Work program, and she's the director of that division, and she's also head of a number of programs in that division, and the one that we want to focus on is the CNM program, or the Certificate in Nonprofit Management program. Dr. Currence is an experienced, data-driven higher education leader and strategist with expertise in directing highly complex initiatives that increase access, academic success, and graduation rates for underrepresented groups, as well as promote diversity and inclusion. She is an entrepreneur, consultant, and nonprofit leader. So welcome aboard, Princess.
Thank you so much, Valerie, for inviting me to join you today.
So before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to work for UIC's At Work division?
Sure. I've been in the nonprofit area and working with nonprofits for about 15 years. Prior to coming to the Extended Campus to create the UIC At Work division, I was at the University of Illinois College of Medicine for about 7.5 years, where I was over the career development, professional development, recruitment, retention, and graduation programs for non-traditional groups for the College of Medicine. And prior to that, I was at the University of Michigan Medical School, where I was responsible for pipeline programming and advising and career advising for those interested in entering the health profession, particularly medicine. Also a nonprofit and a for-profit that focused on helping organizations create solutions for non-traditional learners be it kids in second grade to going to trying to get them prepared for the next step in their educational plan, or UAW workers trying to help educational institutions develop modular degree programs and plans. So my experience is really just helping non-traditional learners navigate the educational pipeline to really advance their careers or advance their learning.
Oh, wow, that is awesome. And in between all of that, I understand, too, you were running a graphic arts business as well? At some point?
Yes, that's how I supported myself through school, was a jack of all trades. So I was a graphic designer and a structural designer, and that's how I got into the business of helping nonprofits, because I had to support myself through school. So I was worked at Ann Arbor News, doing all the press production and all that stuff. And so when I left, when I went to grad school, I was doing social work, and I really found that when I came out, there was a need for nonprofits to help them with their organizational solutions. So, helping them with their brochures and helping them with their conference desktop publishing and posters and things, but also doing employer training or helping institutions write grants. And so I was a kind of a one-stop shop resource to nonprofits when I between grad school. So that's how I got involved in really helping nonprofits, because they don't oftentimes have the resources to hire a graphic designer or hire someone to do training or develop training or write the grants. So I was kind of the one-stop shop for nonprofits and small for-profit businesses.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I want to be like you when I grew up.
I said the same thing to you, Valerie.
Oh, my goodness. So can you give us an overview of the At Work division? And after you do that, can you also give us an overview of the Certificate in Nonprofit Management program?
Sure.
And how we can get involved as listeners?
Definitely. So I was brought on last year in April of 2016 to really grow the UIC Extended Campus, which oftentimes people know as the continuing studies unit for the campus, ability to really help folks who may not be the traditional, meaning undergraduate students to a university's campus, opportunities to expand their educational offerings. And so with that, we developed the UIC At Work division. And so basically it's an opportunity to leverage UIC faculty to address workforce demands. And from Certificate for Nonprofit Management, which is our 16 portfolio, and I'll get into more detail in a moment, for the nonprofit community, or project management for people who are current project managers or want to get certified in project management, or customized training. You have organizations who may have a particular need and would like for us to develop a training for them. So UIC At Work is an opportunity to kind of provide that high-level expertise of our UIC faculty and industry thought leaders to be able to leverage their expertise to address workforce issues. And so CNM, our Certificate for Nonprofit, is one of our oldest programs. It started in 2001, and so imagine 2001 how the internet scene was. And this is the first completely online certificate program in nonprofit education. And it got its tenets from the College of Business here at UIC, and then the curriculum is driven by the national body that governs nonprofit education and governance. And so it's a program that is there to provide practitioners just-in-time training. So it's really created for practitioners by practitioners. So if you have a project that you have at your nonprofit that you really are trying to figure out how to achieve success, or you're new to the nonprofit sphere and you really want to develop best practices to make your organization succeed, or you're completely from the for-profit area and trying to transition into nonprofit, there is a course within the Certificate of Nonprofit entree of courses that's just for you. So it's 5 weeks. Each course is 5 weeks, and so you're able to bring your nonprofit to the class. There's no papers. There's no exams. because the goal is for you to have a real experience and work on a real issue. But if you don't, we have case studies and examples that you can work through.
Mhm. Yes, yes, yes. And just for disclosure purposes, I am, one of the online instructors, and I'm having a ball.
And Valerie, you're very modest. She's one of our premier CNM thought leaders, and really, talking about jack of all trades, someone who is able to lend that expertise. I think that's what people really get out of the program, a benefit of our program, because our participants learn from folks who really have done this. Valerie, in your classes that you teach of strategic management, aligning mission and vision, or our organizational effectiveness course, or even our grant writing course, you're able to provide not only examples to work through a problem, but real examples about how to resolve issues or be successful.
Well, thank you. And I want to welcome Cynthia Stewart. She has just joined us in the chat room. And, Cynthia, we will be able to answer your questions later. She indicated that she's having technical difficulty hearing. So that's not something we can really fix for her right now, but I'm very sorry she's having problems. I think I might be able to help her offline. But at any rate, I wanted to get a sense, too, from you, what are some of the benefits of the program and what sets UIC at Work apart from other workforce development and professional development programs that you might find at, say, another university or another nonprofit organization?
Sure. Well, our UIC at Work is specifically our CNM program. CNM specifically is really unique because most online programs are programs where you don't have the opportunity to interact with the other folks who participate. So not only do your learning facilitated by an expert in the field, you're also able to network with other folks, other nonprofit professionals who are also interested in the same things you are, but then you build an online community through your course, because part of the course structure is that you have an opportunity to work through an issue, discuss it with your peers, and then you have this expert able to guide you through that process and making sure that you're thinking about the right things or you have the right available resources to kind of expand your point of view on a particular point. You're also able to do finish our project. So, for example, in our step-by-step how to write a grant course that's coming up actually in our next iteration of our spring 2 sessions, you're able to actually learn step-by-step how to write a grant. And at the end, you could have a completed grant completed for submission. We've had several people who have done that in that grant course. In our financial management for non-financial managers, you're able to bring your copies of your budget to figure out how to best structure your budget for your course. So the benefit is that your experience is real. It's not theoretical, like a lot of courses that are like ours, that we teach you just the theory. We actually teach you the practice. We teach you practical training. But after our 5-week courses, you're actually able, not only after the 5 weeks, but during the 5 weeks, you get to apply the principles in real time.
Yes, yes, yes. I want to remind our listening audience that they're listening to Nonprofit U, and we're speaking with Princess Currence. Princess is the director of UIC's At Work division, and she's also over a number of programs, including the Certificate in Nonprofit Management program, and we're kind of zeroing in on that particular program for now. She can come back at another time and tell us about some of her other programs. But we will be taking questions from our listening audience at about the 20-minute mark. The call-in number is 347-884-8121. So in about 7 minutes, we will be taking calls at 347-884-8121. Okay, so Princess, you mentioned that you yourself are currently running a nonprofit. And can you share some of the lessons you've learned along the way and how those lessons inspire the development of the courses?
Definitely. When I started off with my nonprofit, I currently don't run the nonprofit now, but I ran it for over 10 years. And with that nonprofit, the lessons I learned is making sure you have a strong partner when you're developing, and that you have a strong team. So your board structure is so important because those are the folks that really continue to let the program run, and you have to have folks who have the time that's needed to devote to helping your organization continue to do the things that they need to do. When I first began the nonprofit, and it's the same for the for-profit that I had founded it with a friend of mine who was a great person, but really had other life priorities that really wasn't able to devote to it. So I was the person who did all the hiring, did all the budgets, did all the contracts, did the grant writing, did the employee training, wrote the curriculums, that also at some point developed the service, and that's not sustainable, right? And so one of the things is when you're building your board structure and you're building your team, making sure you have the right folks to do the things that you need to do. When you're building your strategic plan, that's really important when you're developing your nonprofit from the beginning, is to make sure that you have the necessary team members that align with the strategies and the outcomes you want from, for 30 days, 60 days, year one, year two, so that you can continue to have those metrics to make sure that you're on track to be successful. One of the things that we grew so fast, so rapidly, and there's two main reasons oftentimes why nonprofits or any business fails. They either go too fast or go too slow, or other issues that are aligning. But those are one of the two main issues. And for us, we grew rapidly, very quickly. Our first contract was with the federal government. And,
wow.
We had Department of Justice grant to develop summer camps for kids in this particular area, and all that one-stop shop I told you, we had to do it really rapidly because we had to develop the infrastructure, the things for reporting. So in my experience in developing a nonprofit, the early days of doing nonprofit, it's kind of informed me of what folks at various levels of nonprofit management need to be successful. The courses that we have developed are those just-in-time trainings to address some of those issues. So our organizational effectiveness that your Valerie, I thought later on, talks about that board structure, talks about that compliance issue, talks about how to make sure that you continue to be successful and have a healthy organization. Our financial management course is really helpful for folks who are new to a role and they're doing financial management, or they're new to a board and they're the treasurer, and how to figure out how to do those budgets for the reporting. Our managing staff and managing oneself and maximizing your team is another course that we have that helps people figure out how to, manage yourself. Like, what's your own capacity? What's your leadership style? How to get the best out of your team? And those things that I had to do very rapidly because my primary staff are volunteers. And so I had to figure out how to negotiate people who really were motivated by their own altruistic view versus money, right? And so which means that I really had to have other ways for those people to continue motivated because they weren't motivated by money, right? And so creating that environment that you are able to maintain quality folks and able to engage others. So oftentimes, the other courses that we have kind of build around the practical experiences in life for people who are in nonprofits, and then what kind of skill sets that they need that they don't have a year or two in a master's program to do, but they have an issue right now or a learning gap that they want to be able to address, and they want to be able to do it in a little over a month.
Yes. So basically, I guess to sum it up, these are the courses that you would take if you had started an organization, say, 20 years ago, and the program wasn't around. It's the program you wish you had when you started.
I totally wish I had this. Because when I was starting off, I was fresh out of grad school. I was looking for somebody to hire me at a particular salary, and had opportunity basically to hire myself in building my business. And at that time, I was in Chicago area. I was in Michigan, and we had an organization very similar, but not as resourceful as the Donors Forum as we have here, or now called Forefront. And so it was one small little organization. They had a binder that you could go in and pull some information down, but you really were on your own, right, in developing your own nonprofit. And I wish I was able to take courses that I had an expert, because the CNM program is like having a consultant with you for 5 weeks. And you're able to ask questions and try to figure it out and ask your colleagues, what did you do? And, those are things, this community of learning that CNM creates is something I wish I had. And so when we create our programs and courses, is that in mind? Like, what would I need? What does the community need? And we also take feedback, from our current students.
Yes. And the current students, what I like about them is you get a very broad range of experience. We've had people who were still in undergrad who were gluttons for punishment and taking this in addition to a full course load, all the way up to retirees, folks in corporate, folks in education, all walks of life from all around the world. And I think that really, really makes the experience rich.
It does. It makes it rich because it's really a thought leader facilitated environment, and it's really a community that's built through the CNM courses. And as you said, Valerie, you have people who are taking these courses not only in Illinois, but, in New York and Maryland and California and Mexico, and Puerto Rico. And so you have
Russia, too.
Right, Russia, exactly, all over the globe, as you mentioned. And so you bring that experience to bear and really helping each other kind of figure out, the way forward.
Yes. So I want to remind our call-in audience that you can call in right now. Our number is 347-884-8121. We are speaking with Princess Currence, and she is the director of UIC's At Work Division. So if you have any questions, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. The number is 347-884-8121. So, Princess, once a student is enrolled in the program, what might he or she expect? I know you started down that path a while ago.
Sure.
But what are some of the things?
Definitely. So the model of our courses is explore, do, and discuss. That's how our courses are set up. So the first week of the course, students are able to introduce themselves. The instructor would have already introduced themselves. As I mentioned before, there's no exams or papers in the course, and it's really an opportunity they have resources that you read about different topic areas. So, for example, for our financial management course, people read about the fundamentals of having a financial management structure, what it means to build a budget, and then you read those resources. Then you have an opportunity to discuss some of the challenges with this, and there's set questions that people respond to based on their area of interest. And then from that, students have that discussion around those questions, and then there's opportunity to do. So there are a studio period where if you have a nonprofit, you could be able to respond to the questions based on your nonprofit and be able to work through those issues, or you can have a case that is relevant to that particular topic, or in the effort of an example of the organizational solution, you may have an expert. So for organizational solution, it would ask a COO. For the financial management, it's asking a CFO a series of questions and reflecting on some of the topic areas that's within that particular class. And so you're able to kind of unpack that topic each time you meet, and then you have the instructor or a thought leader navigating that conversation or responding to your question or responding to your comments and able to, organize or facilitate that conversation. A good example is like our social media course as well. We have a social media strategies for nonprofit. So at the end of that course, you're able to assess if your organization is ready to develop a social media strategy. And so each week it talks about how, for example, the first week is, the different types of social media channels that are out there, and talks about the history of those channels and what the purposes are for each of those channels. And then one week is how to evaluate which channel is best for you, because we know in the nonprofit area, those who deal with social media, every social media channel, meaning Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's not for everyone. It's not for every organization. It's based on your audience. And so you kind of work through that, and then in the studio, you may be choosing one or evaluating your organizational readiness and then submitting that within the platform, and then your thought leader is giving you feedback.
Yes. And I can tell you it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah, and as an instructor, I am very, very impressed with how eager the students are to learn. We don't give grades, but we give points. And folks are just as motivated, if not more motivated, to get those points as they would be for grades, I find.
And that's true. Yeah, that's true, Valerie.
Yeah, and then I find, too, just from some of the responses, that even after 1 week of, say, my operations course or 1 week after the strategic management course, folks are starting to implement what they learned, and then they come back and report out about how they actually use the stuff in the quote-unquote real world. So those are some of the things that I'm seeing, at my little micro level. And I'm just wondering, you as division head, you have a bird's eye view of all the programs, and you can really get a sense for what's going on with the C&M program. What are some of the outcomes you're seeing overall?
Sure. Well, it's really helping people at organizations advance. I mean, we have folks, like I mentioned before, who took our step-by-step how to write a winning grant proposal, took our course. One of the deadlines for the grant writing, the grant that she was writing was in the middle of our course, and then she was able to have the thought leader kind of assist her in vis-a-vis the course, make sure she had the fundamental pieces to do a winning proposal, and she actually eventually won that proposal. You have folks who took a managing oneself and maximizing one's team. It used to be called managing staff and volunteers, but took that course and was able to facilitate more motivation in their staff and learn ways in which to increase their staff satisfaction. We had a marketing management course that we have that teaches you what it is to have a marketing management course, what you need to have in order for you to start thinking about creating a marketing plan for your course, which basically talks about how to engage others through different mediums to attract people to your organization. And those people have gone on to develop marketing plans. They have gone on to write job descriptions for marketing staff.
Wow.
They're able to figure out which was the best way in which they can maximize the little staff that they had to create a marketing plan that was sustainable. Our donors course are building individual donors that their relationships that last. We heard a lot of feedback from our participants that was able to really create a structure of how they're really going to get individual donors, because oftentimes in the nonprofit area we think about bigger donors like big foundations or writing larger grants, but we forget about the individual donors. And I know in this day and age, the Fund Me pages and the Give organization, we forget that how quickly people can cultivate additional fund resources through individual donors. So we've had a tremendous response to our donors class, because particularly in this climate and this state in Illinois, people in this across the country, that there's big foundations may have a smaller pot of money. So how can you cultivate individual donors? So we have people who've got promotions from having increased leadership skills. We have people who've connected with each other through the course and continue to network off of the course structure, but within their own, like through LinkedIn and things like that. So it goes in various directions. You know, we have people who started off in our CNM, but then eventually got a position within our organization after that scale. So it's definitely varied. People use it in real time, and it accelerates them either personally or their organization.
You know what? One of the best feelings I got last week, I was working with a client to do a proposal to Cook County, looking at some violence prevention kinds of things. And he was one of the very first students. He didn't go through the CNM online program, but he went through the program in nonprofit management, you know, right before the courses were converted to online. And he showed me his binder that he had, you know, back in 1993 that he used, and he uses it to this day. He keeps it like a Bible, and I had a chance to, you know, go through it. I was like, wow, you know, the material was just as relevant then, you know, as it is now. And, you know, he has since been promoted to CEO, you know, of a multi-million-dollar agency, and he credits going through the UIC, you know, nonprofit program, you know, as a catalyst, you know, for his career growth. So, you know, this stuff really works.
Right. It does work. I mean, the commitment is about 8 to 10 hours a week, and the assignments are on Friday. People do their discussion. On Tuesday, they submit their studio, and studio is that working product, the actual activity they can do regarding their current nonprofit, or if I had one, this is what I would do. And people find that it's, you know, it's very manageable, that people tend to, you have to be able to do some type of activity about 5 times during that week, but it's at your own pace, at your own time during that week time. And we find people, you know, doing more than that because the conversation is so active, you know, on discussion board, or something someone says, they're saying, you know, I feel that way too, and then they kind of share their experiences. And it also helps people realize that they're not alone in this process.
Yeah.
And
yes.
other people are also having these issues, and so they're not. It's not unique to them, and then therefore, you know, they have a community that's there to support them as well.
And you know what? I can say without exaggeration that if you take this course or any combination, you know, thereof, you know, even if you don't get the certificate, I think it takes 6 courses to get the certificate.
Yes,
but you can take. Yeah, you can take one course. You can take any combination, you know, to fill in, you know, places where you feel like you need to shore up or you're just interested. But I can honestly say you will cut off years of your learning curve in nonprofit just from taking one course, you know, let alone if you got the certificate.
Right, that's true. And we're also, you know, we're looking at, you know, the program is evolving, and so, you know, you could come and take micro certificates within our program. So we have categories of certificates, big strategy or leadership or marketing, that you can take that, you know, just that works just for you, and then decide, you know, I think I want to continue my learning in strategy, or I think I want to continue my learning in marketing. And so you're able to kind of piece together what your educational plan is. And how you do that, we have someone in the office that helps you do your course map, your unique course map. What courses do I need based on what I want to learn and based on where I want to go? And we can help you figure out which of the 16 courses that we offer really works for you. So you don't have to do it by yourself. You know, you could, we have a course list, we have courses, and we have the categories, and you can you can be what you want to do what you want to do as far as what courses that you choose, but you don't have to do it by yourself. We have somebody here to partner with you, and her name is Sam Cruz, and also Betsy and myself, who can help you figure out which combination of courses that you need to take based on your individual goals.
Okay, that is awesome. All right, so we've gone a little bit over, but I think it was very well worth it. And, you know, we've come to the end of our show, and I'd like to thank Princess Currence. She's the director of UIC's At Work division, and in that role, she also oversees a number of programs, including our certificate in nonprofit management. But before we go, Princess, is there anything that you'd like to share with us further? And can you also let us know how to get in touch with you?
Sure. Again, thank you again for having me on, Valerie. And the thing about UIC at Work is we want to partner with you for your success. So definitely you can contact us at cnm.ec.edu. That's cnm.ec.uic.edu. And we can definitely partner with you in your success. My email address is at cnm@uic.edu. That's cnm@uic.edu. Or my last name, Currence, Currence, @uic.edu. You can reach me at any of those mediums. And we're here to partner in your success. And we also have our project management course. So if you're interested in getting PMI certified or PMP certified, we have a project management course as well that's coming up in April as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay,
well,
so I want to...
Valerie.
Oh, no, that's okay. I want to thank our listening audience for listening to Nonprofit U Blog Radio Talk Show. The show will be available for download within about an hour. Be sure to tune in next week for a discussion with Amalia Nieto Gomez. She's the Executive Director of the Alliance of the Southeast. We'll talk to her about how they use comprehensive community engagement strategies to drive democracy in community planning. So that ought to be a very interesting conversation, especially in the city of Chicago. Can you imagine democracy in community planning?
Well, I think we're putting into that.
Okay, so until then, I'd like to say thank you, and I will see you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care. All right, bye-bye.
Get to Old Navy 2 days only, today and tomorrow. Wrap up Old Navy's PJ pants for adults for just $5. That's right, $5. Don't sleep on it. It ends tomorrow at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 12/15 to 12/16, select styles only.